What's up everyone, this is CoyneDawg here with another GTA video. So in this video we've got the part 2 of the head-to-head testing between the Pfister 811 and the Banshee 900R. So this is the more situational specific testing rather than around normal circuits. So first up we've got the stunt tube test, which is just a short section of stunt tubes to see how cars handle the tubes, which is obviously from your perspective it's aimed at showing you how these cars would perform in a stunt race, particularly ones that have got lots of tubes in them. So for anyone that's been watching the series for a while now, you probably will have built up a picture in your head of the kind of cars that handle the stunt tubes well and the kind of cars that handle them not so well. So first up we've got the 811, which is obviously a four-wheel drive vehicle with a very high top speed. However, it's also known for being pretty poor handling. In my previous video I described its handling as like a boat, which is completely accurate in my opinion. And then we've got the 900R. Now the 900R is obviously a rear wheel drive car, and it doesn't handle bumps very well. So I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting it to do well in the tubes. I mean, it's known for quite a poor handling car, but as I found in my previous tests on a smooth circuit, it's not that bad really. In comparison to the 811, but on a bumpy street circuit it isn't very good, and obviously a tube is quite bumpy, and also the sides are quite low grip compared to a tarmac surface, so you know, I wasn't expecting it to do well, and that's reflected in the times, as you probably expect at the end. So the 811 was, call it 0.4 of a second quicker than the Banshee 900R. The 900R is actually very, very close in terms of its time to the RE7B, which just shows the difference with the rear-wheel drive performance through the tubes. So the second test we've got is the off-road circuit. So this is a short off-road track to test the vehicle's off-road ability. So first up we've got the 811, which handled the off-road okay, to be honest. Obviously because it's four-wheel drive, it does have that benefit to it, but then it's got its really strange and poor handling characteristics which kind of offset that benefit. But you know, it wasn't too bad. It's quite small, it's quite nimble around these corners. It didn't suffer from the same problem that the Italian GTV had last week, where it actually had so much grip off-road that you couldn't actually skid the back end round. If anything, this is kind of the other way, where the back end is still a little bit too loose to get the full benefit of it off on the off-road circuit, but it wasn't too bad. And then the 900R, obviously rear-wheel drive, off-road, it was never going to go well. This was a really difficult car to get a decent lap time out of. I think I did about 40 laps with it, which is by far the most I've ever had to do on the off-road track to get the time that I felt was the best it could do. But you know, that was kind of to be expected purely because it was rear-wheel drive. It was a lot of fun to do the testing on, and as I always say, the off-road testing is by far the most fun that you can have when you're doing this testing, to be honest. So you know, from that perspective, and my perspective, it was quite good, but the time that it gets obviously is very, very poor, as you'll see here at the end. So the obviously the difference is 1.9 seconds, so I think that's probably the biggest difference we've had so far between two vehicles, which is, you know, as I said, it's just down to the four-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive performance. And then we've got the 1 mile curb boost. So this is the final test, and this is just basically it's a 1 mile drag to test the curb boost improvement of a vehicle. So in this one I don't look at the time it takes for it to get from one end to the other, I look at the difference between the two times. From on the left hand side there you've got the car that's just driving straight down the track, and on the right hand side we've got the car that will basically do two curb boost movements between each checkpoint. And then I look at the difference in times between those and the improvement that's been got from doing the curb boosting. So first up we had the 811, which, you know, it did it quite well. The Banshee 900R also did it quite well. However, I found with the 900R it was very easy whilst curb boosting that little bump would just make the back end skid, or it took me about 5 goes to get a reasonable run down here, because a couple of these the back end just skidded out, or I spawned or something like that. So yeah, it didn't handle it very well, but which I was expecting based on the last test. So again, the 811 won that test, but it was very, very close, less than 1/10 of a second. But that's a full house of trophies for the 811 in this test, so that makes that the winner. As I said previously, I wouldn't really recommend buying either of these cars, except for if you do a lot of high speed, just straight racing, like long haul and stuff like that. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Feel free to drop a like, comment below on what you thought or any other tests that you'd like to see, and if you've not subscribed already, then I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back again soon with another GTA video.